Hello guys, how are you doing today? 17th of January 2024, and we are here again live. My name, as usual, is Tolu Tolu, representing CSA Forex, Common Sense Approach Forex Trading, and we're here to look at the markets live. We're here to look for trading opportunities. We're here to conduct market analysis. You give us your instruments that you're looking at, and we put up the chart, and then we analyze them together based on price action, support, and resistance. So if you are here and you have any questions, let us know as we proceed. If you are here and you want us to look at any instrument, you can comment what instrument it is, and we'll do the analysis together. Also, let us know where you are connecting to us from. What part of the world are you connecting to us from? Right? While I wait for you guys to hit the comment button with your questions, with your comments, and so on, I'm just going to quickly dive into the Forex Factory. As usual, trading at the end of the day is going to be boring. It's the same thing you're going to be doing every day. So every day, the first thing you do is to check the calendar. Today is January 17th, as I said, the calendar under Forex Factory. And we're looking at this calendar for the week, January 14th to January 20th. So far, we had news that came up for Chinese yuan, for pounds, and then we have news coming out in a few minutes, about 30 minutes for the dollar, the USD. Right? And you can see we don't have any actual results yet. But we had for the Chinese yuan, and we don't have Chinese yuan available, on the market for us to trade, but we have the pounds. So this pound, you can see the result is green. So it means that we are going to be buying pounds, right? We are going to be buying pounds. So if we look at the pound pair, GBP, most likely, not all the time, but most likely it tends to obey what it has over here, right? So you're buying pounds, and of course, if it is the pounds against USD, then of course you know that you are clicking on a buy, right? But then our main focus today is the retail sales coming out in roughly 29 minutes from now, as the time continues to wind down, right? 29 minutes from now, we are going to be looking at the outcome of this news, and of course, with respect to what the DXY, the USD, is telling us, right? Since it is USD, and for me, I trade majorly the major currency pairs and gold, right? So for those ones, I tend to use the USD to know what's happening and what should probably happen, whether in a few minutes, a few hours, a few days, or whatever, based on, the results, based on the upcoming news and so on for the US dollar. We're just going to quickly pop back into the technical analysis side of it, which happens to be the charts. And this is the charts right in front of us. For this USD, right from the very beginning, we've been talking about this from yesterday. And of course, if you've been following the series on the YouTube channel, where we have been doing the What's Happening in the Forex Market Today series, we've been talking about the dollar, and then we talked about it before it broke out of here, right? So it broke out of this area here, which was resistance. It was resistance, but now it has now turned to support because price is now above it. And then we also have this level here, even though this was the highs of this candle. You can see this candle is a nice, clean pin bar, Pinocchio bar, hammer. Right, a bearish one, which worked. This highs also represents an area here of resistance, which has been broken to the upside, so should also act as support. Now, as the market has continued to push higher and higher in this manner, you will notice that now we have a rising channel, a rising wedge, and of course, in this manner, we are looking forward to the dollar doing what? Dropping. Now it has broken out of that area here, and it is on the other side of the trend lines. We're looking forward to the market breaking down and coming back to this area here of about 102.70. But then if you want to buy here, for me, it's a bit too tight to take it back up. I like you want to have some nice room. And that's why the Fibonacci traders, when they draw the Fib retracement from the lows all the way to the highs, they are looking forward to those key levels of probably like 38.2 or 50. You can see the 50, it has confluence with this here, this areas here of support, as you can see, support, and then resistance. So 50 will be a good place to look for buy positions. I'm not saying this is not good or this is not good, but this is too tight, but then this is better. So if you're going to do a counter trend move, you're going to be going against the trend for this dollar, right? I'll prefer the market to get back to this point for you to cash out. Now, because we are looking forward to the USD, to the dollar going down, right? The Euro USD, we should be expecting it to push higher. Even gold, we should be expecting gold to push higher, right? So we're going to look at the Euro USD and gold. Let me pop into the comment section and see whether you guys have any questions. Okay, I can see somebody saying hello from Dubai. Okay, let us know your name, the person that said from Dubai. Your ID is showing some JXW or some other things there. We have Warriston Nelson, also from Delta State in Nigeria. You're also welcome as well. Okay, so let's continue because as usual, we are trying not to be here for way too long. Just a few minutes. I just want to just drop some things that I'm looking at and what maybe you are also looking at for us to discuss, and then we call it today, right? As I always say, this is a good, time for us to come together. If you have a quick question, maybe something that happened to your trade or something you are planning on doing or whatever the case might be, you can always just quickly drop it and then we will do what we'll quickly discuss it. Okay, so now with that said, let me clean up this and we're going to look at gold as an example. If you watch our what's happening in the first market from Monday, Tuesday, yesterday, and even today, we're talking about the gold and we're privileged to take the gold. Yes, we took the gold, a nice trade indeed on the gold, on the precious metal. So we took this trade on gold, right? I'm just going to show you a quick screenshot of that now as we took this trade on gold. What happened, right? You can see from our screenshot over here, because I tend to do screenshots. As you can see, we entered on a sell here, and then we said our take profit was going to be at this point where we had marked these areas here as lows representing support, as you can see. So I'm going to clean this up, and then we're going to go back to the live chat, and then you see exactly what happened at that area. You would now see that price did what? Price nicely hit that area and then it bounced up. So this is also a good one to see whether it can push higher back to this area, because clearly the battle is between this resistance and this support. Clearly from the past, you can see what has been happening in the support and that resistance area clearly, right? And of course, you draw a Fibonacci from here to here. It gives you about 50 or 61.8 marker over here, which is a good confluence. So is it going to push higher back here? Don't forget we have news coming out and the retail sales news is high impact. So we should have some serious volatility that should be introduced to the market sooner than later, right? So this is gold for you. And I'm not saying place a trade now, right? This is not meant to be used for signals. By the way, as a disclaimer, kindly note that what we are doing here is giving you information strictly for educational purposes to help you to understand the market better, right? And that's why we try to do this as often as possible, right? For everybody to know how to go about the business, right? So we clean that up. Let's look at the Euro USD. Euro USD2 also has broken out from this area here, which happens to be this former support and seems to be acting as resistance. But then don't forget, we are looking at that dollar based on what the dollar is doing. So based on the dollar, it might as well push higher this point and maybe drop, or push higher, use this area as support and then push back up, right? And this is of course assuming that the US dollar is going to drop, right? So this is Euro USD. You notice that we're not talking about too many instruments, right? Because we don't need to talk about too many instruments. If you are trading just one instrument, you are good to go. This is USD JPY. You can see the USD JPY and then let me clean this Fibonacci up. You can see this USD DXY, the USD index, and then the USD JPY. You can see they're pretty much similar in a way. That means that this one too, as a CT trader, you should be looking forward to something here to sell, to take it back down to this area of former resistance that should now act as support. And if this should fail, we have another one here, resistance, support, 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 that should not act as support. But clearly, the counter trend traders, this is where they are. Counter trend traders are here, and then the trend traders are over here. There's always for you to know, just like a chess game where the next person's move most likely might be based on your own move. So you must always try to understand what the other trader is trying to do. So if you are looking forward to selling, think and ask yourself, what is the buyer trying to do? And if you are looking forward to buying, ask yourself, what is the seller trying to do? By the time you ask yourself these very key vital questions, it will start to come to you. You start to understand the market from both angles at the end of the day, right? Okay, beautiful. Let's continue. I can't see any comment from you guys, so we're just going to continue, and then we're going to round up in a few minutes from now. So this here is the dollar JPY, and of course, the pounds. Remember, we talked about the pounds where we had the news that came up for pound much earlier at 8 a.m. West African time. Now that news for pounds, look at what happened to it. Remember, the news for pounds was bullish. Pounds was bullish, and that came. Look at the size of this massive candle. Can you see the size of this massive candle based on the news that came up for pounds? And why did it do what it did over here? Because of this area of support, 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 support. Once you can read and understand the market the proper way, you'll be able to approach it and, of course, take advantage of it. And you can see it exploded and went up to this area here, right? So once you understand what the market is doing here, you can start to gradually take advantage of the market. So now we're going to be rounding up. I can't see any questions or comments from anybody. We're going to be rounding up now, and make sure the news, when it comes out in about 18 minutes from now, if you do not have any directional bias, please stay out of the market and always ensure that you combine with the technicals. Don't just use the fundamentals telling you it's a buy or a sell or whatever the case might be. Don't just use that to jump into the market, but rather combine with the technicals. As you can see from the technicals of pounds, right, it was at a support, and then the news fundamentals on the pounds at ATM was also bullish, and then it went up nice. Once you can combine the two of them together and they tell you buy and buy for fundamentals and technical, all you have to do is to jump on it, and then you will be good to go, right? So pay attention to the dollar. We're eyeing this to see what the results will be. Then pay attention to the other instruments, Euro USD, gold, and of course, even the Australian dollar also is also good to go for a buy, even though it's a down move. Don't forget, it's a CT trade, a counter trend trade. So make sure you understand what you're looking out for, and then try to what? Try to take advantage of the market. Okay, so with that said, I want to say thank you guys. That's indeed been a good one. Ensure to protect your account appropriately. Use stop loss where it needs to be used, especially during high impact news. And then also ensure to what? Also ensure to calculate your risk appropriately. As we always say, we have our little corner, right? We have our little corner, our trading school, where you can get more information. We actually have a weekend training coming up soon. So on number 3, you can click on it and then quickly sign up. We have the weekend training coming up on January 20th and January 21st over here. So sign up and then do what you have to do. And then you have a webinar that you can watch for free here. Other information, the position size calculator, if you want to calculate your risk. For those that don't know how to, just punch in your details here and then pick your instrument of choice, whatever the case may be, Bitcoin, gold, everything here for you. Click on calculate and then it gives you your figures. Okay, so don't forget the trading school is there for you. Any question that you have, you can always reach out, contact us over here as well, and then we'll get back to you in good time. Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you. And of course, we will see you at a later time. If you have any questions, reach out to us and we'll see what we can do for you. Thank you guys. Enjoy the rest of the day and goodbye for now. Cheers.